Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Also, go ahead and like this vlog if uh, you can, and also please leave a positive comment below. Normally, my introduction is not that polite, but I wasn't thinking properly for whatever reason. So, as usual, I did my daily errand, and I stopped at McDonald's and I got my coffee, and I'm still drinking my water. And today I actually did my evening run a little earlier than normal. Um, Unfortunately, today we will not be able to go on our run together or jog together. Katie and I walk/jog, so I had to do it by myself today. But that's okay. It is what it is. But anyhow, to keep my YouTube channel interesting, I've been picking at random topics once a day just to keep everybody entertained and interested in my YouTube channel and to gain some more subscribers. And I was actually checking last night, and I'm already at 409, so not doing too bad. Off to a good start so far. Definitely been gaining more subscribers here in the past month or so. And I just suddenly had a brain blast, as Jimmy Neutron from Nickelodeon would say. And I came up with this idea of talking about my second Disney cruise that I ever took in my life. But to properly title this YouTube video, what was it like for me to go on a Disney cruise? And most people are going to find that and go, that's kind of a random topic to be talking about, David, but okay. So you'll have to bear with me because the last time I went on this cruise was about 14 years ago. And I would absolutely love to go on a cruise again. But every time TJ and I get together and we talk about going on a cruise together, either A, the money is just not there, or B, it's just not my timing. Now, TJ and I actually were very serious about going on a cruise together about 2 years ago, and it was actually going to be last year officially. And I actually did go as far as doing the deposit. Like, I was very serious. I was going to do the whole monthly installment. And unfortunately, the money was just not there, and I realized it, and I was like, there's just no way. And on top of that, because of the fact that TJ and I had that spat about 2 years ago, there was just no point of going on the cruise anymore. But with TJ and I back on being good terms again, now the idea of going on one again is back up in the air. TJ is still talking about going on a cruise for his future/imaginary honeymoon, but all I can do is pray and hope that he will find the right one when the time comes, and that's all I can say really about that. So anyway, more or less, what is a cruise to begin with? And I'm going to try to do this a little shorter, A, so I don't bore you, and B, because of the fact that tonight is Bible study night, and we haven't actually had a Bible study on a Wednesday in about 2 weeks, and we are both super excited to be doing Bible study. Katie is actually in my room right now taking a nap, and obviously for religious reasons, I'm in my parents' room by myself, and the only one that's in here right now with me is my dad's cat, as you can see over there. So a cruise is basically a floating hotel. If you have never been on a cruise before, which Katie has not, then you would probably have no clue. Also, a cruise is paid for in advance. In some ways, it's nicer than a hotel because of the fact that you're paying for your hotel room, you're paying for all the food and beverages you're going to be consuming throughout the entire duration of your trip. You're also, so to speak, paying for all the high customer service you're going to be receiving throughout your entire trip. And then, of course, you have the option to go ahead and tack on that gratuity bill ahead of time, which I know Carnival allows that. I don't know about Disney, but I did check and Carnival does allow that. Now, I will go ahead and let you guys know that each cruise line does everything differently. Like Carnival, I know for a fact that water, lemonade, coffee, and tea are all free included in your trip. However, though, they do have two different drink packages. So, for one thing, they have a bottomless bubbles package, which basically is all the soda that you can drink, and you can either purchase it for the entire duration of your trip, or you can purchase it one day at a time, whichever is cheaper and easier for you. And then they have another package, which is all exclusive alcohol. I don't remember if Disney Cruise Line sells alcohol or not, but I do know that your drinks are automatically included along with everything else that I just mentioned. But the reason why Disney is the most expensive is because of that. And get this, not only does Disney have, your drinks included in your meal, but also they have soda fountains and milk stations on their top deck, which is usually like deck 15. So anyway, I'm going to go back about 14 years to the best of my ability, which for the most part my memory is very clear on this, which is pretty good. So we decided to do this for my parents. Let's see here. Just thinking back. Actually, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm going to cheat here. We're going to say 2010 minus. So it was their 21st wedding anniversary, if that says anything. And 14 years ago, that would have put me at 16 years old. And I'll tell you right now, guys, I was very introverted before I started working at Publix. And I know some of you might like, David introverted, yeah, right. I was, trust me. I was very introverted. And for those of you who have actually met me, which some of you who are subscribed to my YouTube channel can definitely put both your hands up, maybe even your foot up at the same time, like this. And go, oh yeah, that's me. Yes, David is extremely extroverted. And he's one of the most friendliest guys I've ever met. And just like the other YouTubers out there, I will make sure you feel special because I care about my subscribers and my non-subscribers just as much as most YouTubers out there do, especially the travel guys. And I'm a travel YouTuber, so anyway, it was the week of my parents' anniversary, and we actually met my dad's friends from Stony Creek, Ontario, at their rental house in Haines City, Florida. So this was, like I said, 14 years ago when I was still living in Florida. We spent our time just hanging out, listening to 80s music, and I clearly remember at one point listening to 99 Left Balloons. And I don't remember who that was by any means, because I don't usually listen to that song to be honest with you guys. And they had all these kind of cool games and stuff like that in their garage. So, yes, they had foosball, air hockey. Oh, yeah, I was definitely playing that. That was fun. And we finally looked at the time like, oh, shoot, we got to get going. So, normally on your first day, you are supposed to be there very early because the cruise ship needs to start heading out between 4 and 5. That's just a general time frame, and not to mention, not only do you want to get there on time or early, whatever, but you also need to give yourself time to get to the top deck for their safety drill, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, come on, Titanic sunk 112 years ago this week, so that says a lot right there. So anyhow, we get all the way over there, and after we got done with the safety drill, we wanted to go out and we wanted to go get our dinner. So we had a very light meal getting to the cruise ship. I think it was like McDonald's or something like that. And they have each restaurant generally has a lobby. So I went and made myself comfortable, and I got to see out the porthole. So that was kind of neat. And finally, they opened the door. So because we got there early, we had to sit down for maybe an hour, maybe a little less. And each restaurant has a really cool theme. So we went to. So this was the second Disney cruise, not my first, and mine was on the Disney Wonder, and the restaurant we went to was Parakeet. So it's a buffet, not meant to be a sit down restaurant, but trust me, I did eat there as a sit down restaurant. Not a good experience. I actually set the food back if this is anything, but we'll get there when the time comes. So we went and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And keep in mind, I'm going to go by my memory the best I possibly can. So not everything's going to be in order or anything. And you just basically go up and you get your food as you want to go. I wish I could spend a little bit more time on this, because some of you are probably like, man, I really wish you could like pull up details, but like I said, I'm on a time crunch. I probably could have done this tomorrow, but I just really was in the mood to share this, especially while it's fresh in my memory, while I had the enthusiasm on top of that. And honestly, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring with my job transition either. So, they had all kinds of food out. Honestly, I liked eating here the best for breakfast, but I believe I need to get to Tuesday before that happens. So the next morning, I believe I went down to Triton's. That's right. Triton's is their main sit-down restaurant on board, and it's on like the main level. And I think that was the morning that there was some confusion on where we were going to meet for breakfast. And I ended up going down there by myself, which is hilarious. So they had servers walking around the entire restaurant with ginormous trays. Like, imagine the largest pizza tray you can possibly imagine, filled with donuts and muffins and all kinds of other pastries, maybe even cinnamon rolls. And they would come to each individual passenger and ask them, would you like a pastry, and how many would you like? I think I was bad that, because it was, my second cruise, and I was like, I'll take two. And they had all kinds of assortments. They had everything from blueberry to chocolate and banana nut and apple. I was like, wow. And that was just your pre-thing. And then they give you this big menu. And honestly, I had never looked at a menu without a price in my life until that second cruise. Now, I don't remember my first one by any means, but the second one I clearly remember, and it was just so weird seeing all these menu items just listed out, and you could just go at whatever you wanted. Everything was already prepaid for in advance, and you're just like, oh my, there was probably at least 200 selections just for breakfast, from omelets to French toast to pancakes. They had it all. And they would cook it up in the kitchen and the back of the restaurant. I was just like, wow. And I've seen the size of some of these cruise ships, and it's just mind blowing. And they also provided your drinks. So if I wanted chocolate milk, I could get that, and then I could turn around and say, hey, now I want orange juice. Okay, yeah, we'll bring that to you. No additional charge. I remember before I even sat down to eat, they asked me, are you with anybody? I said, well, yeah, I was supposed to be with my parents. Now, keep in mind, I'm a cruise ship. I only had a flip phone at the time. And, you're out at sea. There's no way to get a hold of anybody. And they went, well, if you want, you can use the phone here in the restaurant. So they have a phone in pretty much every single restaurant on cruise ships that will literally let you call any of the staterooms. You just put in the 3-digit stateroom, and it will call that room. Obviously, my parents were there, so they were like, well, you're welcome to stay here. Yes, I was technically a minor, but they saw I was clearly old enough to be off on my own, so they were like, it's fine. So they let me stay in there. So I did finally eventually find them. They had gone to another buffet near the top of the ship called Beach Blanket Buffet. And the best way to put it is it was very similar to Parakeet, but definitely on the low end. I don't believe I ever made the effort to go there. My parents said, yeah, it's not that good. And then they asked me, where did you go? And I told them, oh, I went to Triton's. Oh, we should have joined you. Yeah, you should have. I was really lonely. And they were like, oh, we're sorry. I mean, it was all misunderstanding. That's all it was. Now, as far as what my stateroom was like, so if you are familiar with the balcony staterooms, imagine this beautiful stateroom with the two queen beds, and you got your own personal bathroom. The best part is they had a curtain that separated the room from the balcony, and you just could sit out there. They had a couple of chairs and a table, and you could just watch the waves. And trust me, I spent a lot of time out there. I actually did read back then, and I actually was out there reading, just watching the waves. I didn't have a nice phone back then, so it's not like I could just whip out my smartphone. It's not like I could just whip out this thing and start clicking away and going, oh yeah, that kind of thing. I believe Monday was was our date at sea, if I remember correctly. So there wasn't really much going on. So Tuesday, we did arrive at Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island. To best summarize it, there are at least 10 different beaches throughout the entire island. Also, now there are 2 barbecue restaurants, all you can eat buffet, by the way. So it's all the barbecue can eat. So if I could go back, I would definitely go back and try that barbecue again because it's some of the best barbecue I've ever had. They have multiple soda fountains throughout the entire island. Obviously, if I went back now, I would drink a lot more water than I did Coke, which back then, I drank so much Coke that my body was screaming at me for water, and I just kept ignoring it. I kept drinking soda. I had a major soda problem back then. I really did. And you think Katie's bad? Katie was bad back then, but trust me, I was just as bad, which is also why I'm so understanding about her soda issue. And they also had a family island, and they had a water slide that actually dumped you into the water. So obviously this island was in the Atlantic Ocean. So whenever you would come into the water, and you're going at a good 30 miles per hour, talk about having salt water rushing up your nose. Not a fun experience, trust me. Trust me on that big time. And at one point, we all decided to go get lunch. And I remember this one guy, he kept yelling, boy, go time, boy, go time. Yes, they had burgers, but because it's supposed to have that Jamaican feel. He was saying it weirdly. And because the island is so large, they have an electric powered tram, if I'm not mistaken, that travels throughout the entire island for free. So it's a courtesy tram. And I just thought that was like the neatest experience. So it was about halfway through the day, my dad started getting a really bad migraine. And my dad, unfortunately, wasn't even feeling well enough to eat lunch. I even asked him, do you want to have lunch? And I didn't want him to go back by himself, let alone the fact that he didn't eat. So I said, you know what? I'll go back with you. I don't mind. So I rode all the way back. I went with him to his stateroom. I made sure the whole room was dark. And I asked him if he wanted anything to eat when he did feel well enough. And he told me exactly what he wanted. So one of the nice benefits about that, speaking of which, so when you go up onto the top deck, they have multiple quick service restaurants. So you can just walk up to a counter and say, hey, can I get, whatever they have, basically. So let's say they have a stand that's just giving away pizza. It's basically they're just giving away. And you can just get a plate of pizza. And you can take it wherever you want on the ship, within reason, of course. And so I put all this food on a tray. I don't remember offhand what I got him. It might have been chicken tenders and fries, and then I went and got him a drink. And I brought it back down to the stateroom, and I held on to it until I was ready to go put it back later. And my dad did eventually eat it, and he was very thankful for it. I don't know if he still remembers that, but trust me, I do. And you know what? I'm really glad I did that for him. I really am. So later on, my mom and my brother did eventually catch up. And I remember that night we were traveling around a big storm. And my mom and my brother decided it would be a great idea to go swimming. And because it's a floating hotel and with no protection from the storm, let's just say that they closed the entire pool down and they got rained upon. And when they came back, they were soaking wet, but not because necessarily they were about to get in the pool or they already had been in the pool, but because they got rained upon. And I was like, wow, you're back so soon, because they came back like 5 minutes later and they were like, yeah, we got stormed upon, and my dad's still not feeling the greatest, and I decided it was best that I stayed there and spend time with him, keep him company. The sacrifices a son is willing to make for his father, you know? It's not like he hasn't made me a gazillion either. So, anyway, um, the, that evening, if I remember correctly, we did eat dinner at Triton's, which was basically the same thing as breakfast, but eliminate the pastry tray altogether. And if I remember correctly, our this was it was either the Monday night or the Tuesday night. I don't remember which one it was. I know we did have dinner at Triton's the majority of our time. Um, for dinner. So, once again, please forgive me. But I remember it was either the Monday night or the Tuesday night that the waves were really bad. And everybody except me and my dad's friend Paul, which sadly he's gone on, literally within 5 months of the cruise. Within 5. That's scary. But he and I were the only ones that were not getting seasick. And I said to him, well, thank you for staying. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm feeling great. And I was like, you want dessert? He's like, sure, why not? I was like, awesome. So I decided to get, I don't remember if it was tiramisu or if it was something similar to that. It's the dessert that they light on fire and bring to you. If you know it, go ahead and comment below, because my brain's crap right now, obviously. But he actually got the same thing. He was like, that actually sounds really good. I'm going to try that too. And it was so neat, because I had seen earlier and I had mentioned that to him. I said, I've seen enough of those. I really want to get one. And both of us sat back and just enjoyed it. And if that's not bad enough, I was stupid and I went upstairs to the top deck. They have a soft serve ice cream machine on pretty much all the Disney cruise lines, and I went and made myself a swirl cone afterwards, to the best of my abilities. I'm not the greatest at making ice cream cones, but I was really bad that week as far as junk food is concerned. So Wednesday was the day that we did finally have our whatever you call it, our NASA Bahamas day. And just to cut to the chase, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I've seen NASA one time in my life. I'm not just saying like from the cruise ship, which if you were to be technical, I've seen NASA twice from the cruise ship. But in reality, I've been on NASA. I've taken the entire day to look around the entire island. It ain't nothing to laugh about or sneeze about. It really is not. And it's one of those islands that is all glamorous on TV, but when you see it in real life, you're like, that is nothing what I saw on TV. And you're right, it's not. And I'm just being real with you guys. Now, if you guys want to go down to Atlantis in Nassau, go for it. I'm sure that's probably one of the nicest things you're going to see over there. But I personally chose to stay on the cruise ship all day. And, of course, I went and had my lunch on the top deck because this time was my turn. And, I really enjoyed it. Oh, there's Katie now. Yes?
You need to get in the shower.
Yes, I know. I went, as you guys heard, I went for a jog earlier. I'm almost done with this vlog, I promise.
Hi.
There's Katie now. She just got done with her nap.
I didn't really even fall asleep. I just kind of laid there.
Yeah. I guess she's just going to leave the door open. Okay.
I'm coming right back.
Sure. So anyway, so my dad surprised me that evening, and he took me back to Parakeet, and we did, actually no, now I remember, it was Thursday that we did Parakeet for sit down, but like I said, everything's kind of out of whack right now. And yeah, now I remember. So Wednesday was the day that we went over to Parakeet for the seafood buffet, and then my dad took me to see a hypnotist act, and I thought that was like the neatest experience. It's nothing I ever would have imagined. That's the best way to put it. You have to see it for yourself. It's hard to explain. You have to see it for yourself. So Thursday we went back to Castaway Cay one more time, and the only thing we really did differently this time was we all went together as a family to ride bikes. We rented bikes, which my dad did in advance, and we all rode bikes together on the island. That was the last time I've seen my dad on a bike, if that says anything. And I doubt I'll ever see my dad on a bike again. But I'm glad I got to do that with my family when we were younger.
David, we're gonna be leaving 15.
I know. And, see, Katie's really big about being on time for everything, even though half of our group is late for everything. But, And, unfortunately, I'm just about done, and I can't really edit any sooner, because then it would be abrupt. But, yeah, that evening, we, got back to, after our day at Castaway Cay, we got back, and my parents and their friends went up to the top deck to a really nice restaurant. Now, I know earlier in that day, I had seen The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Or it might have been earlier that week. I know on that cruise I saw The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Jerry Bruckheimer. Also Toy Story 3. And then that evening I went and saw Prince of Persia. Because I remember freaking out hardcore over the snake scene. And I got made fun of for it. But it's whatever. And I did that with their kids. I mean, everything's been kind of scrambled. And sadly, the next morning, we had to eat a very rushed breakfast at Triton's. But I know somewhere around there, I did the dinner at Parakeet. I don't remember the sit-down version. And, like I said, it was not the greatest experience ever. And I know the whole family was there for that. And that's when my dad had this anniversary cake brought to our table, which he purchased ahead of time. And it wasn't like with the meal or anything. It was really good. I would say the funniest thing that happened to me that entire week, I believe on Tuesday morning, the same day we went to Castaway Cay the first time, I was already dressed up, ready to go to the island for the day. And I was fixing myself some French toast, and, I'm in my flip-flops, which Katie seeing me in flip-flops is extremely rare. Yep. And I actually spilled maple syrup all over my feet, and my feet were super sticky for the next hour or so, and I was like, dang it, what did I go and do that for? But, you guys had to hear that at least one time that I did something dumb like that.
Hey, I haven't even heard this story.
Well, you have to go back and rewatch the entire vlog, because this is all about my second Disney cruise. So, when you have a little bit more energy, I'll have to go back and rewatch this. I'm, sorry that you weren't awake enough to come in here and listen to it earlier.
If I had also known you were doing this, I would have come in here.
I'm sneaky like that. But like Katie keeps reminding me, we do need to head to Bible study. This is our first meeting in 2 weeks. Well, in the house it's called a bathroom, but to each his own. So I'm, really glad I got to share that story with you. The only other thing that happened that week that I'm still not really proud of, I had a chance to go into the teen club and make some friends. And what do? I run off. And where were my parents the whole time, you might ask? Playing euchre for 3 hours straight with their friends, because that's one of their favorite card games. So, yeah, there were some interesting things that happened. And, of course, here comes the worst part about a cruise. On the way in, they bring your luggage to your room, but on the way out, they're like, nope, you have to take out your luggage all the way back to your car. We ain't doing that for you, because we're in a hurry to get this, ship cleaned out and restocked and ready to go for the next cruise. And you're just like, ugh. But hopefully, not only was I able to entertain you guys, but also give you guys some interesting information about a cruise that you probably never heard of before. And due to lack of time, I'm just going to end this and upload it later, let alone edit it. So, always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.